Hello everyone and welcome to the 12th entry in the Dev Diary series for Chromatic Void. We have a few updates to discuss today, so let's get right into it. The first of which is the implementation of those attack animations that we saw last week. You can see he's got a little swipe and an effect to kind of help supplement that in game. We have one for standing still as well as running, so he kind of slows just a little bit to do so while running, but it seems to be working pretty well. Additionally, if you're standing still, we can do a full 1-2-3 hit combo, a little Shoryuken-esque uppercut there at the end. Now, the second two animations are a little rough, and we definitely need to smooth those out, but as far as placeholders, they are working very well. The last variant is an attack that can be done in the air, so while you're jumping, you can throw out a little swipe, which, as discussed in earlier entries in the series, can be used to attack enemies mid-air and kind of gain some height. So all of these are working pretty well, and I'm very happy with how they're translating to the game thus far. So moving on from there, we actually have an entirely new mechanic. So we've introduced a very light stealth mechanic that the player can use to help avoid detection while moving through the levels. Essentially, once you enter a certain area, you can press the hide button, and Void will press himself up against a wall or crouch under a crevice or whatever he needs to do to get out of the way. And this will help him to, avoid enemies or environmental hazards that may be present in the stage. We even got a nice little black vignette effect to kind of help signify that, you are hidden or you are hiding. So, very cool update on that one. The next thing we're going to talk about is a very quick bug fix that has been present in a couple of the last episodes, which is the wall jump, the infamous wall jump that keeps giving us a little bit of trouble. But we have finally worked out the kinks in that, so Void will now always face the correct direction when sticking to the wall. Hooray for bug fixes. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is really more of an aesthetic change than a functional one, but I do think it is really cool and I want to highlight it. So it used to be that when Void traveled through an electric wire that he would just continue his normal dashing animation, which in this case is now more of a spin. However, now it has been updated so that when he is traveling through a wire specifically, see if I can catch this, he actually turns into this small, stylized kind of version of himself with a lightning tail that travels along the length of the wire instead. A cool little effect that harkens back to games like Sonic Colors or Super Mario Odyssey, a neat little stylization that I think adds a lot of personality. So, now that we've seen it in game, let's go ahead and just take a closer look at the actual animation. There it is. You can see him glowing gold with these electric purple eyes. Very fun. Let's kind of slow that down a little bit. And there will be some additional visual effects to kind of help accentuate this, but right now what we have is just the bare bones model and animation, which still I think works pretty well in game. The last thing I want to talk about today is some more concept art. Hooray! So, since we're getting closer and closer to actually dealing with the boss of this first level, I wanted to go ahead and show off the concept for the boss stage, the boss arena, where you'll be fighting Lightning Leo. So, this is the courtyard of his penthouse, way up above the city. And the idea is that you will actually be able to see a large majority of the cityscape that you've been adventuring through by the time you get to this. So I think it'll be a nice little end cap to this journey that we've begun. So this first pass has a lot of really ornate architecture, a lot of foliage, and I really like the direction that it's going. However, moving forward, I think we're going to be using some other references to kind of cut down on the ideas, maybe bring in some higher hedge walls, and kind of empty out the center of the arena to help give it a more open feel and help to kind of accentuate the bustling city in the background and also make it easy for the player to focus on the battle at hand. And with that, it's time to get into the question of the week. Since we're getting closer to our first boss encounter, I figure it's appropriate to ask, who is your favorite or most memorable boss from any video game? Let us know in the comments below, and we will see you all next week. Take care.